Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Now just a quick one. Have you ever heard a saying? Tak kenal maka tak sayang is a very famous Indonesian saying.
I can't say that I have. No.
It means, I'll tell you what it means. It means if you don't know a person, then you won't like them.
Right.
So, yeah. So we're hoping we can get to know you better so that, if we know somebody, the saying says, then we get the opportunity to like you and to know more about you.
Well, fantastic.
So, yeah. So hopefully through the questions we can learn more about you. Yeah, is that
No
cool?
problem. Sounds fun.
Sounds fun. That's good. Now, as a New South Wales Premier, I'm sure it's not easy. So I was just wondering, what has been the biggest challenge for you?
Well, there's almost a challenge every day, and I think you certainly get used to difficult issues that come before you, and you understand that whatever way you decide on particular issues, there will certainly be people that won't appreciate the stance you're taking on issues. But look, I think probably the biggest challenge was around the siege, the Lent siege. I think that was a particularly personally difficult time. I think it was very difficult for the city and state and country, and obviously kind of being in the middle of that, it was very difficult.
Okay. And talking about challenges, there must be success. What has been the biggest success?
Look, I think having the capacity to seek re-election, because obviously I came into this role when the former Premier left, and I can honestly say that it wasn't a role that I was pursuing, but I consider it an unbelievable privilege to have it, and to sort of be able to outline an agenda and some issues that we wanted to implement should we be successful in election, and to win election was something that was very, very special. So it's something I'll never forget, and will always appreciate getting the support of the New South Wales community to be able to implement a number of things, particularly in the infrastructure space, that I think is going to make a huge difference for a generation to come.
Excellent, yeah. So, well, we know it's not easy, so we've talked about challenges and success. So we want to know what motivates you to have a career in politics.
Well, look, I certainly, in terms of my early years, so finishing high school and going to university was about the last thing I wanted to do. I had no interest in politics. My father had been involved, and I'd seen all the downsides, and I thought, well, that's not for me. But as I reflected in life, and I spent a few years in the financial services side, I started to think, well, I don't want to get to the end of my days and feel I haven't made a contribution to the community I love and the city and state that I love. So I thought, well, how can I do that? And I went through various options, and after a long period of time, I decided, well, actually, maybe it is politics. And having decided that, notwithstanding the many challenges that it has involved, I've never regretted a day.
Wow, that's amazing. We know that youth homelessness is one of the key things in your list of priorities, and we love that. And as a community, we were just wondering, what do you think we can do to help the government to reduce youth homelessness?
Yeah, look, it's a really, really important issue, and I think it's one of the things sort of quite close to my heart. And I've spent some time with youth as a former youth leader and disadvantaged youth in this sort of political role, and certainly there's so much need out there, and there are so many young kids who, through no fault of their own, are in pretty desperate circumstances, and there's some very strong services that come and support them, but we need to do so much more. I mean, a young child, and I call a young child kind of anyone under 18, that has no family support, no friends, is left to their own devices, and often in very difficult circumstances with people they shouldn't be associating with. There's almost no hope for them. And I think if you take away hope from a child, well, you crush everything. So trying to re-engage with these youth, provide support and give them the opportunity to get out of crisis accommodation, into supported accommodation, and then independent. That's really what our key priority is getting the number of disadvantaged or crisis youth back into supported and then independent living. And that is a key driver, and I certainly think that the community more broadly can play a role in that, sort of connecting into some of the youth services and offering mentorships. I mean, I think that's something is really important. I know there's a number of organisations, including the Army, that have offered support in terms of mentoring to some of these kids. And that's really all they need. They need someone to tell them that they actually matter, someone to tell them that they can make the right decisions, and if they really want to get somewhere, or they've got dreams to achieve, a job or education or anything, they can do it. And I think all of us can play a role in that.
Now, last year, we know that New South Wales re-signed a memorandum of understanding, New South Wales and Jakarta, and that's exciting because it means there's, we're growing trades and all that stuff in education and infrastructure and all that stuff. So we're just wondering, since the signing, is there anything exciting happening between the two parties that you can share, maybe?
Look, there's a number of initiatives we're working on, agriculture and education. There's a real interest in Service New South Wales, so we're looking at how we can maybe export the model that we've used in terms of interaction with government and the community. That we have made good progress, but we have to be honest, we are a long way from where we should be. In terms of the total trade, it's relatively small. It's about $1.5 billion. So for us, such a large economy, a natural trade partner, right on the doorstep, we have to do more, and that's why the Trade Minister, recently was there, sort of updated our sister state relationship with Jakarta, and I think through the free trade agreement process, I think we will see a significant increase in opportunities for both.
That's good to hear. Sydney has always been, one of the most popular destinations for our international students. And as you know, being an international student, it can be very stressful because you have this stress to do well and all that stuff. And we know that you have a very positive outlook in life. We're just wondering whether you can have words of encouragement for them, just to encourage them, about life.
Who's that for?
International students.
Oh, international students.
Study, yeah. Sydney is very popular. Yeah, and a lot of international students, Indonesians, they study here.
Well, I think there's over 8,000 here in New South Wales. I think Indonesian students, and my encouragement to them is just enjoy it. We welcome them with open arms. We obviously have great universities, but also it's a great city to live in. So, my encouragement to them is to get out, to get on the ferry, go across to Manly, to get up to the Hunter Valley, to go up the north and south coast, go to the Blue Mountains, get out in the sunshine and enjoy it. It's a wonderful city to be in and live in. So I hope that whether you're a student, don't just stay on campus. Get out there, enjoy, and you'll be welcomed everywhere. And it's one of the great things about this country is that it's very welcoming. And tourists obviously are welcome, but great to have our students here, and I hope they make the most of it.
Yeah. How do you think they should manage stress and expectation, though? Because you're an expert at that.
Well, look, stress is a natural thing. I didn't feel much stress at university, I have to say, and I probably should have felt a bit more stress because I probably spent too much time at the beach and not enough time in the lecture hall. So, but no, it's everything's about perspective. You want to do the best you possibly can, but if you're doing that, well, that's all you can do. Do the work, and the results will take care of itself. And the context and the important thing, which I tell my kids, is that your marks don't define who you are.
Oh, that's good.
It is part of what you are doing. It's not who you are. So have a capacity to enjoy, do the best you can in your studies, but in life, look, you really need to understand that it's important it is today. This exam will be forgotten. within the next few months.
Very good. Now, in the past, Australia has been known as the world leader when it comes to teaching a foreign language, particularly Indonesian. But we've noticed that it's actually on the decline, so not many people, or there's not many interest for students to take up Indonesian as a language. So we were just wondering whether there's a policy or a strategy being put in place at a government level to address the decline.
Yeah, we're looking very closely at teaching sort of all Asian languages within our schools, and obviously, if you look at where the world economy is going, it's shifting from the west to the east, so Asia Pacific is the new centre, and as part of that, communicating is obviously critical. So, whether it be Indonesia, whether it be China, India, Korea, Japan, that collectively is where there is huge opportunities economically, and obviously for Australia to participate, language is a key part. So how we provide that and enhance that is something that the new Secretary of Education is currently looking at, and certainly there's no doubt we will have increased access to Asian languages. The question is how much and how many and how quickly. So there's no doubt it'll happen, and obviously we'll wait for the Secretary to come back with some recommendations.
Now, to do what you do, you need to have a principle in life, right? So we're just wondering, what's your philosophy in life?
This is very deep. This is kind of it really is sit on the couch and kind of reflect on. Look, I think the philosophy in life would come down to doing the best you can. I think that's back to the advice to students. I think everyone's got to wrestle with yourself. Are you making a contribution to help others? Are you looking after your family and your friends as best you can? And I think that if you get to the end of your days and you look back and you say, you know what, I've given the best I can across everything that I've been doing, and I think if you do that, you won't have regrets, and that's ultimately the driver for me.
Now, I heard, right, you can prove this wrong though, I heard if you're born in the month of April,
Yes.
you can be very difficult to deal with.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm sure you can prove this wrong. Now the question is, what do you...
Well, my mum went in labour on the 31st of March.
Oh, okay.
So does that count?
Oh, I think that's why you can prove them wrong. The question is, what do you think is your strongest personality or characteristics?
Well, I don't know. I think others can judge. Look, I think as a general rule, I would be more optimistic than most. I always kind of see the upsides. I'm a glass half full sort of person. I think I enjoy friends and relationships. I love people, so the opportunity to engage with people I find sort of very energising. And I certainly believe that if you believe in something, well, believe in it, and be prepared to stand up for it if you need to stand up for it, and to take the consequences of others who might come against you. So that may well be the package.
Would your kids agree with that? Yeah.
Look, I think so. But look, you'd have to ask my kids. That'd be up to them.
Yeah. Now this one is just a fun bit. I'm going to ask you a series of fun questions.
Okay.
So feel free to answer as quickly as you can. Right. So this is. I'm just going to read it out to you.
Are there any trick questions?
No. This is all about you. If you could do anything you wanted right now, what would that be?
Be on holiday.
Okay.
Maybe surfing is my favourite breakdown.
Yes, I know, in Bali.
Down the south. Well,
Oh, okay.
in fact, I haven't surfed in Bali. That is on my bucket list.
You have
So
to.
okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
I'll go to Uluwatu, which is a beautiful left-hander.
Yes. Now, if you could go back in time, what year would you travel to and why?
Okay, 2000.
2000. Yes.
2000 Olympics.
Ah, why?
And I go back to the stadium. I was there the night that that Kathy Freeman won
Wow.
the gold medal, and you know that when she came round past me. I was about the 250 metre mark, and she was just behind, but she was surging, and it was as if the stadium lifted to the sky. So I'll never forget that experience. So I'll go back and
re-experience.
do it one more time.
If you could be anyone in one day, who would that be, dead or alive?
Anyone.
Anyone.
Kelly Slater.
Ah, surfing. I'm really into that.
He's quite I think he's pound for pound the best athlete the world's ever seen. Any sport.
Really?
Any sport.
Wow. Now, would you rather travel by train, car, or bike?
Where to?
Oh yeah, that's a good. To the office.
Look, my favourite commute is actually the ferry. The ferry is, I think, one of the most majestic ways to come to work. I spent a bit of time working in London and Hong Kong, and you know, I would talk to people about the opportunity I had, as obviously living over in Manly. The ferry in the morning, with no one around, beautiful glistening harbour. It is about the best commute you can ever do. I think it's the best commute in the world.
You can think and reflect.
Absolutely.
Would you rather win a lottery or find a perfect job?
How much is in the lottery?
Oh, I don't know, name it. 1 billion? No, I don't know.
Look, money doesn't find your happiness. There's no doubt about it. So, in the context of the perfect job, and you know, notwithstanding the challenges I have at the moment, it's pretty close to a perfect job.
Oh, that's nice. Would you rather watch TV or read a book?
Look, I think to relax, it probably would be TV.
Oh, TV. Okay.
Yeah, I do a lot of reading in this job, and I find it hard to read to relax. And I've always been a bit of a reader, not a big reader, but always a bit of a reader. So on holidays, I will take 5 or 6 books away, and I'll read bits and pieces of them. Sometimes I get through them, sometimes I don't.
Or you just read the back.
No, I don't read the back. No, so I would say probably to relax, a bit of sport on TV.
Oh, thank you so much for the time. That's our chit chat.
No worries,
and
thank
it's so
you.
good